We often lean into numbers, don't we? We seek their quiet certainty, constructing intricate financial models, believing that within their precise columns lies tomorrow's truth. Yet, sometimes, after all the meticulous effort, those forecasts feel hollow. They whisper promises that never quite materialize, or worse, they guide us down paths that leave us exposed, bewildered, perhaps even betrayed by the very data we so carefully cultivated. Have you felt that sting? The frustration of pouring your intellect into analysis, striving to bridge the gap between complex theory and actionable strategy, only to find the bridge unstable, its foundations weakened by unseen flaws. It's a pain that touches the core of our ambition, a quiet dread that perhaps we've missed something fundamental, that our efforts towards sustainable wealth are being undermined by invisible cracks in our understanding. This fear of costly mistakes, of misjudging the genuine mechanisms of the market, can settle like a heavy stone in the chest. This is not about blaming the tools, nor is it about diminishing the immense power of disciplined financial analysis. It is about understanding the delicate craft itself, the human element that shapes the numbers. As Benjamin Graham, the enduring voice of value investing, once cautioned, the investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself. In financial modeling, this often manifests as subtle, yet profound, missteps that subtly twist our perception of value, distorting what should be a clear, objective lens. We are not merely chasing figures, we are seeking clarity, a deeper intimacy with data-driven truth. We yearn for the ability to discern genuine worth from the fleeting narratives of the market. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover 7 common, yet potent, errors in financial modeling. These are not trivial oversights, but foundational weaknesses that can profoundly distort your forecasts, turning a reliable compass into a spinning needle. We will demystify these pitfalls, dissecting how they emerge and, crucially, how to fortify your analytical fortress against them. Warren Buffett quietly reminds us that risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. This wisdom speaks directly to flawed financial models. They can create a dangerous illusion of knowing, a false sense of precision that masks unseen risks. A seemingly minor error, a misplaced assumption, can snowball, eroding your margin of safety and twisting intrinsic value, turning potential profit into unexpected loss. This rigorous quantitative analysis, often perceived as an esoteric art for specialized quants, is, in truth, the bedrock of truly informed, data-driven wealth creation for every ambitious investor, essential for navigating the market's complexities. Our aim here is not merely to list errors, but to reveal the systemic vulnerabilities within our analytical frameworks, the hidden weaknesses that can hinder sustainable wealth accumulation. Are we truly seeing what lies beneath the surface, or are we allowing our models to whisper comforting, yet ultimately misleading tales? We build our models on numbers, seeking solid ground. But what if that ground is not as firm as it appears? What if the data we feed into our calculations harbors hidden assumptions, silent distortions that promise certainty but deliver only a mirage? This reliance on unverified data can breed a subtle fear of financial loss, a false security in our valuation models, eroding trust in the market's objective inputs. It leaves us with a feeling of investment inadequacy when our models fail to reflect reality. There's a pervasive myth that downloaded financial statements are perfectly investment-ready, that reported numbers always, without question, reflect true economic reality. This belief is a delicate veil, often obscuring that garbage in, garbage out isn't just about bad data, it's about *UNEXAMINED* data. Subtle accounting choices and hidden adjustments can dramatically skew future cash flow projections and intrinsic value, shattering our expectations. Consider the tragic tale of Enron. Their financial statements, meticulously crafted, painted a picture of robust health. Yet, beneath its surface, like a grand stage set hiding a crumbling building, lay a web of accounting practices that distorted reality. It was a powerful illusion, demonstrating how even seemingly legitimate reporting can betray true economic performance. Our ability to make informed decisions hinges on looking beyond the surface, discerning the genuine underlying mechanisms of reported financials. To fortify your data foundation, a 3-step forensic accounting technique can guide us. First, reconcile reported earnings with actual cash flow, seeking persistent divergences. Second, scrutinize off-balance sheet arrangements and contingent liabilities, understanding their true economic impact. Third, analyze management's accounting policy choices, especially in revenue recognition and expense capitalization, asking why certain methods were chosen. These steps distinguish between mere GAAP compliance and true economic performance, ensuring your models are built on insight, not illusion. Are we truly reading the map, or simply admiring its lines without understanding the terrain? Even as we strive for objectivity, a subtle current runs beneath our analytical endeavors, the human heart. We believe our models are objective, pure vessels of market logic, yet often we subconsciously embed our own quiet optimism or unspoken pessimism into their very fabric. This cognitive dissonance, this clash between what we believe and what we unconsciously do, can leave a philosophical wound about market logic, a sense that the numbers should be clear, but our inner landscape clouds them. This manifests profoundly as confirmation bias, often masquerading as conviction. It feels like strength, a firm belief in our trajectory, but it quietly ignores contradictory evidence, baking it out of our model's assumptions. We build self-fulfilling prophecies, often wrong, sabotaging the very critical analysis we champion. Our models become echoes of our desires, rather than mirrors of reality. And then there's the insidious whisper of dopamine, the subtle reward we feel when our model clicks, when the numbers align perfectly. This chemical affirmation can hinder our empowered, data-driven decision-making, reinforcing subtly biased assumptions. It makes us resistant to challenging our own forecasts, locking us into a comfortable but ultimately flawed understanding, preventing genuine financial mastery. This isn't just about bad inputs, it's about the subconscious hand that guides the inputs. To dissect these hidden assumptions, let's engage in a symbolic exercise. Look closely at your growth rates and discount factors. Ask yourself, are these truly objective reflections of the market, or do they carry the faint scent of your own overconfidence, your own fear of loss? Unconscious biases can subtly inflate or deflate your projected intrinsic value, like a gentle breeze altering the course of a ship, almost imperceptibly at first, but profoundly over time. The story of long-term capital management stands as a stark, chilling testament to this. Brilliant minds, armed with sophisticated models, were undone not just by market forces, but by an overconfidence in their own frameworks, a failure to account for extreme events, a direct result of these very behavioral biases. Their intricate models, once symbols of intellectual prowess, became instruments of their undoing when they failed to incorporate the messy, unpredictable truth of human behavior and market irrationality. It underscores the critical importance of independent thought and truly data-driven analysis, rising above the siren call of market sentiment. Are we truly building models that reflect the world, or merely reflections of ourselves? Our journey into financial modeling often leads us to the distant horizon, to the concept of terminal value, where a company's cash flows are projected into perpetuity. It's a powerful tool, yet it can become a subtle trap, silently breeding a fear of financial loss. A seemingly robust discounted cash flow, or DCF, model, built on hours of meticulous work, often hinges precariously on a single, highly sensitive long-term growth rate. This leaves us vulnerable to unforeseen market shifts, fostering a quiet sense of investment inadequacy when reality diverges from our elegant projections. There's a persistent myth in long-term wealth building that a stable, perpetual growth rate is a reasonable assumption for most companies, or that the exit multiple perfectly captures true future value. This belief, while comforting, often distorts our understanding of true compounding, painting a picture of linearity in a world of cycles. The shattered expectation arrives when we realize the terminal value often accounts for 70% or more of a DCF valuation, yet it is the most prone to arbitrary assumptions. This disproportionate power to distort forecasts can undermine our most earnest strategic finance efforts. Imagine navigating a vast ocean with a wounded financial confidence, your meticulously built model, your compass, suddenly crumbling under the weight of an unrealistic terminal growth rate. This exposes a raw feeling of lost control, a betrayal of the expertise you've diligently cultivated. To strengthen our capital allocation strategy, we need a three-step strategic finance technique for discerning genuine underlying mechanisms. First, deeply analyze industry life cycles. Is the industry nascent, mature, or declining? A mature industry cannot sustain high perpetual growth. Second, rigorously assess competitive moats. Is the company's competitive advantage truly sustainable for decades, or is it fleeting? Only robust, enduring moats justify any long-term growth. Third, benchmark your assumed growth rate against the long-term nominal GDP growth of the economy in which the company operates. A company cannot perpetually outgrow its underlying economy. These steps guide more realistic perpetual growth rate assumptions, grounding our models in economic reality, not hopeful speculation. Are we truly gazing at a distant, attainable shore, or merely a shimmering mirage on the horizon? We often grapple with a quiet frustration born from incomplete or superficial financial education. It leads us to accept boilerplate calculations for the weighted average cost of capital, or WACC, without truly grasping its dynamic and profoundly subjective nature. This impacts our decision-making autonomy, leaving us feeling adrift, trusting a formula more than our own informed judgment. Beware the subtle snare of anchoring bias, which often masquerades as consistency. It feels reassuring to fix our discount rate to a historical average, a comfortable anchor in turbulent waters. Yet, this can hide inadequate due diligence, ignoring current market volatility or the unique risks inherent to a specific company. It's a misjudgment of risk management, a quiet refusal to acknowledge that the tides of opportunity and danger are constantly constantly shifting. The shattered expectation arrives when we confront a hidden truth. The risk-free rate isn't truly risk-free, and subtle shifts in market risk premiums, those almost imperceptible tremors, can dramatically alter the present value of future cash flows. This reveals a profound truth about capital allocation and the true cost of equity. What we believed was a steady, unchanging current is in fact a complex, flowing river with unseen depths and varying speeds. To cultivate a truly independent, critical financial mindset, we must undertake a practical transformation. Deconstruct the components of WACC, the cost of equity and the cost of debt. Challenge each input with real-time, market data and company-specific risk factors. Ask, is this input truly reflecting this company's unique journey, or am I merely applying a generic brushstroke? This rigorous questioning empowers genuine portfolio optimization, refining our vision. Society, in its haste, has often distorted the image of the critical financial strategist, promoting a simplified, formulaic approach to discount rates. It overlooks the deep analytical rigor required to accurately price risk and opportunity, hindering truly informed decision-making. We are told to plug in numbers, but not always to understand the pulsating life behind them. Are we truly valuing opportunity, or simply accepting a convenient, yet potentially misleading, price tag? We often find ourselves wrestling with a profound sense of inadequacy, feeling outmaneuvered in a competitive financial landscape. This painful feeling often arises when our static models, those carefully constructed frameworks, consistently fail to predict the fluid shifts of the market. It can lead to a gnawing loss of control over our investment outcomes and a quiet distrust of even established financial authority. What good are our maps if the terrain itself is constantly changing? There's a persistent myth that market dynamics are predictable and linear, that a company's competitive advantage remains a fixed star regardless of external feedback loops. This belief, while comforting, undermines the very principles that critique the efficient market hypothesis. It's a static view in a dynamic world, like trying to catch a river in a fixed basin. The story of George Soros and his profound reflexivity theory reveals a critical importance that many models overlook. He understood that market perceptions don't just reflect fundamentals. They influence them, creating powerful feedback loops. A model that ignores these dynamic interactions, that treats market perceptions and economic reality as separate, unmoving entities, is inherently flawed. It leads to distorted forecasts because it misses the very essence of how markets breathe and evolve. To truly master market navigation, we need a three-step quantitative analysis technique that embraces this dynamism. First, move beyond simple best-worst-case scenarios. Develop dynamic scenario planning that considers how market anomalies and behavioral finance might trigger successive changes, like a ripple effect. Second, implement robust sensitivity analysis that isn't just about changing one variable at a time, but understanding how multiple variables interact and compound. Third, integrate stress testing that pushes your model to its breaking point, not just for financial factors, but for shifts in market sentiment and investor psychology. The fatal mistake for those seeking actionable, rigorously data-backed financial strategies lies in building a rigid, deterministic model in a world governed by emergent properties and non-linear interactions. It's akin to trying to predict the weather with a fixed algorithm, oblivious to the swirling winds and unpredictable currents. This rigidity stalls true strategic wealth building. Are we truly listening to the market's evolving song, or are we clinging to a melody already played? We have journeyed through the subtle currents that can distort our financial maps, uncovering the quiet flaws that can lead our forecasts astray. We've touched upon the quiet dread of a model that whispers false promises, the frustration of misjudging the market's genuine mechanisms, and the subtle pain of feeling outmaneuvered by unseen complexities. This journey is not about finding fault, but about cultivating a deeper, more discerning relationship with the numbers that guide our ambition. Benjamin Graham, the wise elder of value investing, offered us a guiding star that resonates deeply here. An investment operation is one which, upon thorough analysis, promises safety of principle and a satisfactory return. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a demand for profound rigor in every cell of our spreadsheets, in every assumption we bake into our models. Thorough analysis demands that our financial blueprints are not just aesthetically pleasing, but structurally sound. The true margin of safety, then, extends beyond simply buying below intrinsic value. It is woven into the very integrity of our analytical frameworks. It lies in understanding, in anticipating, and in mitigating the inherent errors that can creep into our models. This protects your principal not just from market whims, but from the unforeseen failures within your own calculations. It is a shield forged from deep understanding, not just conservative inputs. Identifying and correcting these 7 errors is not merely a technical exercise. It is a profound act of empowerment, a soulful transformation. It shifts you from a passive consumer of data, hoping for the best, into a true financial architect. You begin to build sustainable wealth not by chance, but through truly informed decisions, grounded in a deeper intimacy with data-driven truth. It's about owning your financial narrative, rather than being dictated by flawed projections. This path demands continuous vigilance. It asks us to become the quiet auditors of our own creations, to question every assumption, to peel back layers of convenience and inherited wisdom. Imagine your financial model not as a finished monument, but as a living garden, constantly needing tending, weeding, and careful cultivation. Each assumption, each formula, is a seed. Are you ensuring they are planted in fertile ground, or are you allowing unseen pests to corrupt the harvest? Embrace the dynamic, complex nature of financial markets. True financial literacy and mastery emerge not from rigid adherence to a single formula, but from the flexibility to adapt, to learn, and to critically engage with the ever-shifting landscape. It is a sacred practice of constant discernment. In the quiet chambers of your own financial decisions, are you building a fortress of understanding, or merely a facade of numbers?